friends, we're back here at our garden again. This week we're going to be talking about water and how important it is for our garden to be able to have some fresh water every day. If you look behind me, you can see that our plants are growing bigger. As they grow, they require more and more water. Down here you'll notice that I have a small pail. This is actually what we've been watering with. We have a water spigot near to the garden. But one of the things that we've been able to do with this garden is to use some reclaimed water. On the roof of Parish Hall, there's an air conditioning unit that as it runs, it will condense some water, which runs down a drain pipe, and we've been able to reclaim that water. It's clean enough to water our garden with, and it's a great way to not increase the use of our water, to use water that's already free. As we've been watering with our bucket, we've discovered a few things. One is that if we don't water deeply, the plants won't grow well. Sometimes they'll be wilted, they'll just all come out and they'll be flopped over and not looking very good. Within just a couple of hours of watering our plants deeply, you can see them perk back up. In fact, this plant right over here, this little guy standing in the back, he has really struggled recently. And I came out earlier today and gave a small drink to all of our plants. And just within a couple of hours, that plant is standing up on its own. As we water, because the slope of the bed, if I water too much in one place, it'll just run off. So it's a slow process. I need to pour slowly and let the water really absorb down into the soil. If I were to just dump all of the water right into our garden bed, it would just run off and it wouldn't do us any good. But by pouring the water slowly, I can see that it's absorbing in. Because these have already been watered, the speed with which the soil is absorbing the water is much slower. I can tell through this process when the dirt is moist enough, because it doesn't absorb water very quickly. When I first start watering, the water just disappears into the soil so fast. But as I pour more and more water gently onto each plant, the water absorption slows down. This reminds me of a Bible verse, one of my favorites. It's in Isaiah 58, verses 9 to 12. And it says that as we give, as we pour out what we have on others, as we work for God, that we will become like a garden that is always watered. We will become like a fountain that never fails. I know our plants, if I don't make it out every day to water them, it makes it hard for them to grow. But just like these plants, when they are growing and thriving, they will give to others. As we give to others, as we allow things to pass from God through us to the community around us, we become like that watered garden whose waters never fail, a spring of goodness coming from God and flowing to those around us. I'm wondering today, how can I allow God's gifts to flow through me and out to others? It got me thinking last week that I'm very stingy with my water. Not stingy when I'm watering the actual plants, but stingy that I don't want to spread that water through the rest of our bed that doesn't have seedlings in it yet. Because if I water the rest of the bed, we're going to grow weeds. And I don't want weeds in here. I don't want to dig them back out again. So I haven't been watering the rest of our garden bed. As we plant new seedlings in, then I start watering those seedlings. I water each plant individually. Mariana's going to come help me today. She's going to help me pour our water. Here. As we water, we pour a little at a until it absorbs in, and then we pour a little more. We've created these little earthen dams around the front of our plants that are on our slope here so that we can allow them to hold more water. But I don't go pouring water just anywhere in my bed. I'm very specific about where I pour the water and how much. It got me thinking about God, how God isn't stingy. In our sanctuary, we have the saying that love never faileth, or love never fails. And I found that to be true. Unlike me, God pours love out on everyone. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes we see the suffering around us and we wonder how that could be true. But we know and we trust that the Bible says that love never fails, that God's love is for everyone, everywhere. Unlike me, God doesn't just water those that he thinks are good enough. God allows his love to be poured on everyone. I hope and pray today that you will be able to feel God's blessing and God's love pouring down around you. Not like I just pour in spots, but how God really, really pours his love on everyone.